Today we are talking about the voice of God. Hearing the voice of God. Hey my people, welcome back to my channel. If it is your first time here, you are welcome, and if you are my returning subscriber, welcome back to this channel. The purpose of this channel, or the goal through this channel, is me breaking down big concepts in Christianity to smaller workable tips so that each one can be able to enjoy the promises of God as He has promised them in the Bible. I also get to share things we never get a chance to ask in detail from the pastor as he is in the sermon preaching. So I get to discuss those things here. So if you are led to any topic that you would want us to digest here or to share, feel free to drop it in the comment section below here. And at the moment, I'm still able to read each and everyone's comment, and I'll pick it out. That's what I usually do. I always see what people's interests are, and I bring them as a form of discussion to edify one another, to encourage one another in this life of salvation. But on other days, just to break the monotony of the word every day, I go out and make my daily vlogs or daily activities. I get them on camera and I take you along through my activities. Yeah, you always enjoy those ones as well. So welcome, welcome, welcome. And without wasting much of your time, let's discuss today's topic. Today's topic is hearing the voice of God. And we are going to read, I think that is common with me. I always read the word more, but today we are going to read many verses. Not so many. Don't feel like, this is going to take me to reading many verses. I know it is a challenge to sit in one row and someone reads many verses. It used to bore me at one time, so I try to avoid it. I give you, in this video, there are going to be like 3 or 4, but don't worry, you will manage it. We are reading from John. This is our first verse. I am reading NIV. It is John chapter 12, verse 28 to 30. And it says, "Father, glorify your name." Then a voice came from heaven. "I have glorified it and will glorify it again." The crowd that was there and heard it said, "It had thundered." Others said, "An angel had spoken to him." Jesus said, "This voice was for your benefit, not mine." You understand? So the voice of God, the fact is, since the beginning of the world, God has spoken to man. God always speaks to us. But what I can say, many Christians are always absent to the voice. Even when he speaks, you miss the voice. And this is exactly what happened in John 12, verse 28 to verse 30. Jesus said, "Glorify your name," telling God. And God indeed said, "I have glorified it." But see how people who were around Jesus at the time, they missed it. Some heard the thunder. Then others said the angel had spoken to him. But Jesus said this voice was for your benefit, meaning that many people who were around him missed the benefit. So it is possible that many times God speaks, and personally many times before I have missed the voice of God. But these days I am awakened to listen. I am alert to listen so that I don't miss any instruction. I don't know if any of you has got this experience I'm going to tell you, like you even insist sometimes, but the Spirit of God even causes something to distract you so that you listen or you don't miss on an assignment. For instance, Sometimes you are heading to town, then somehow you feel like, let me pass this route, yet it is not your usual route going to town. And when you reach there, you meet someone that you were looking for, or the exact thing happens that you needed. You understand? That was the voice of God that you were not listening. But even God caused you to either forget something, you go back home to pick it, then along the way you meet the very person. Had you come with the phone, you were going to miss. Does that make sense? Has it happened to you guys? To me, it has always happened. But these days, I'm always alert to listen to the voice of God. And even not question when something happens. Like, it might be saving you from something that God saw ahead before you saw it, that you should avoid this way, or delay a bit as it passes. You understand? So the voice of God has always spoken. If you haven't heard the voice of God for many years, or in the previous days, keep alert. Train yourself to even question God. What are you telling me? Is there anything I'm missing here? And that way you will see the Spirit of God coming through to guide you, because you are yielded to listen to the voice. Now, this was the disciples and the people who were around Jesus at the time when he said this, that I'm reading it again. It says, Father, glorify your name. Then a voice from heaven, I have glorified it and will glorify it again. The crowd that was there and heard it said, it had thundered. Others said, an angel had spoken to him. Jesus said, this voice was for your benefit, not mine. Can you imagine? For him, he heard what God had said, but people around him had heard a thunder. So most of the time, like a pastor is preaching, you are hearing a thunder, yet he's saying some mystery that was meant to benefit you. Also in Acts chapter 2, let us read there. I think for simplicity, let us stick to NIV, since we are reading many, unless something comes up. Acts chapter 2 verse 5, it says, now they were standing in Jerusalem, God-fearing Jews from every nation under heaven. When they heard this sound, a crowd came together in bewilderment, because each one had their own language being spoken. Utterly amazed, they asked, aren't all these who are speaking Galileans? Then how is it that each of us hears them in our native language? So you see, God can speak in a sound, but each person understands in their language. There is also that place, but I'm not going to go deep in that. And there is another verse that says that my sheep know my voice, So we are supposed to know how God speaks. And usually he doesn't speak of his word, because this is his word. So he can't in any way speak otherwise. So this is our basic. Anything we hear, we compare with the word of God. If it is of the word of God, then it is not the truth, or it is not God speaking. 1 Corinthians chapter 14 verse 10 says, undoubtedly there are all sorts of languages in the world, yet none of them is without meaning. If then I do not grasp the meaning of what someone is saying, I am a foreigner to the speaker, and the speaker is a foreigner to me. Now that is the relationship that we have with God. If he speaks and we don't understand or we don't hear from him, then we are foreigners to each other. There is no relationship. So when we speak, he should be able to listen, and when he speaks, we should be able to listen. You understand? So it is important to hear the voice of God and to discern it. There is a verse that I'm going to leave attached here in the description that says that my sheep know my voice, and that says my sheep know my voice. I know it is in the Gospels, but I'm not going to look for it right now. You can as well go and study it. And lastly, for today's study, let us read Psalms 89 verse 15 to 17. It says, "Blessed is the people that know the joyful sound. They shall walk, O Lord, in the light of thy countenance." So when you hear the voice of God, you find yourself avoiding many mistakes, avoiding wrong decisions, because you are led by him, because you are hearing him daily, not once a week, not once a month, or not listening to him at all. But when you hear him, when you hear his voice, you know it and you understand what he's saying. You won't be like others who are hearing thunders. You will hear him as he's speaking, as I have said, through the word, through dreams, through visions, through even your inner man. God speaks, as in he is ever speaking, guys. So don't miss the voice of God thinking maybe it is for special men and women of God, or people who are up there in things of the spirit. No, there is that tiny calm voice that is always within you, telling you, but most often we don't give attention. Some people think they are going to wait and see heaven opening and God saying, "I am God speaking to you." No. So yeah, that can also happen as well, but I mean, there are many ways the voice of God comes to us. So we need to be intentional. We need to be alert to listening to the voice of God. For me not to make this one lengthy, I'm going to leave here other short videos that I think can build on this topic, and I'll definitely see you on my next video. And the first one is the will of God. We must understand the will of God to hear him better, or to hear the voice of God. You must know what his will is. I have that video, I'll leave it linked here, and I have another one that tells us to make our divine purposes and callings sure. They are amazing videos as well. My videos are always kept short. Feel free to open them and watch. And if you haven't subscribed, guys, please press the subscribe button below here. Give the video thumbs up as and when you're able to watch. Share, in case I share something and you feel it can bless another soul out there, feel free to forward to them. And that way you are participating in spreading the gospel of the Lord to the ends of the earth. And of course your reward is as good as mine, because you are not laboring in vain, guys. And of course, you know I love you. You mean a lot. You mean the world to me, because without you guys I wouldn't be on YouTube. But if you participate, you are helping me to extend these messages to the ends of the earth. So feel free, guys, to do that, and I'll definitely see you on my next video. Bye for now.